Are the team at Watchfinder any good at helping you buy a new watch? Well, I used their service and found out. Welcome back to the channel, all you watch heroes and nerds, and today we're going to be doing something a little different. Now, if you are a YouTube veteran, you will no doubt have seen these videos hosted until recently by a particular set of talking hands. I have no trouble in saying that Watchfinder as a YouTube channel not only brought out some of the best watch content ever, but on a personal note, during my time in and out of hospital a few years ago, waiting on an operation, their videos went a long way to keeping me sane. However, there is one side of the company that I've never really thought to try before. And let's be honest, it should have been something that would have been at the front of my mind. Today, I'm going to tell you my experience of using their website to buy a watch and my honest opinions on the way that it went. So to begin with, I want to come out and say that I have not in any way been paid for this content. I don't do sponsored content around watches or watch reviews. This is my own first-hand experience of using their services to secure my next watch. So first things first, I looked around for my next watch purchase, and when I found the watch I wanted, I was ready to click on inquire. But I realised that for this to be a full honest review of their services, I would actually be better placed to trade in a watch too. Plus, I would save a little money on my initial purchase. So I clicked off the watch, went on, registered for an account, which literally took about 5 minutes, and then sent the inquiry off. Typically, by my standards, I sent this on a Friday, so there was a bit of a wait until I heard back from somebody. But in a few days, quite literally on April Fool's, as if you'd know I'd be contacted by somebody on April Fool's, I had an email in my inbox with a member of the Watchfinder team's details on it. Oh, and by the way, big shout out to Peter, the boutique manager at the Watchfinder in Bicester. He had no idea I was making the video on this, and by the way, he didn't know anything about me running a YouTube channel. And once we had concluded our business, he agreed to be mentioned by name as well. So big thank you, Peter. I really appreciate all the hard work that went into this. He was quick to come back to me with any questions, and eventually we did agree on a price. This consisted of an amount that I would get credited from my part exchange watch and a remainder price to pay for the new watch I was dead set on acquiring. He sent me a link and I duly ponied up to secure the watch and use the remainder of the price as a refundable deposit. I could get this refunded at any time should I change my mind. Secondly, the next part was sending my watch off to Watchfinder & Co. And this was also, pretty impressively quick. The next day I had a ring at the gate, and it was the delivery man with a prepaid box from Watchfinder to send my watch over to them. The box and papers and everything else would go in for evaluation. This was later picked up on the same day by a delivery driver and sent to Watchfinder. And the next working day, it had actually reached them. Now, the Part X side of the equation did take a little longer. In fact, it took around 3 days for them to check the watch I had sent in, test it, examine everything to make sure it was indeed what I said it was. But by the following Monday, this had gone through with no issues at all. Now, my watch had been purchased, I'd Part X'd my older watch, and now all I needed to do was wait for the new one to arrive. The delivery was scheduled for the next working day, and Peter, who had stayed in contact with me throughout the process, had told me that the watch would be with me the next working day. This unfortunately didn't happen. However, it wasn't a delay on Watchfinder's part. In fact, it was the delivery company that didn't do the pickup on that particular day. No bother though, Peter, again to his credit, emailed me and probably half a dozen other punters and apologised with a guarantee of the delivery of the watches the next day. And true to his word, it turned up before midday the very next day. And once the watch was delivered, I can confirm that the condition of the watch was absolutely fantastic. It was everything that I was looking for and more, and the delivery was true to its word as well in terms of being quick and efficient. So again, nothing to complain about. So what are my overall thoughts on the process? Well, it was easy. If I had just bought a watch without the back and forth of part Xing, I would have had a new watch in a couple of days. But because I decided to part X, it did take a little longer. Now, all in all, the process from inquiry to delivery took around 10 days. And if you take out the weekend and the bank holiday of Easter Monday, it's actually more like 7 days. So 7 days. 7 days to inquire, choose a new watch, part X the old watch, haggle over price, and then receive the new watch is actually not bad at all from my book, especially when you consider all the hurdles that you need to go through. Yes, of course, you could walk into an AD and pay retail or close to retail for a new piece. And yes, if you sell on eBay or online, you can get more for part Xing a watch. But let's be honest for a minute. ADs don't always have what you want in stock, and although I use eBay to sell watches, I always like to keep the value of the orders lower because that's where I feel most comfortable. Usually for me, that's around the £500 or less mark. Now, overall, I think the service was great. The timescales were realistic, and I was kept up to date on the progress throughout the whole process of selling. So, should you consider Watchfinder when buying or selling a luxury watch? Yeah, really, I think you should. I think you should at least consider it, or consider to consider it, at least anyway. But what did I sell and what did I buy? Well, you'll just have to stay tuned for my next video to find out. If you think you know though, leave them in the comments below. Take care again, watch nerds, and a big thank you again to Peter and the Watchfinder team for all their help with this one.